Ladies and gentlemen, I am here today talking about one of my very, very favorite subjects, which is love and relationships. Love. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, but it's a wonderful thing, and we cannot live this life without it. So today, on the Leslie T. Marshall Experience, we will be talking to some phenomenal couples. It is the month of February, Valentine's Day, right? So today I am here with one of my favorite power couples, and they will tell you who they are. And I call them a power couple, and you will find out why. Welcome, McLean. Welcome to the Leslie T. Marshall Experience.
Thank you for having us.
So wait a minute, guys. It is my show, right? So I have to tell you how I met this beautiful couple, right? So I was called in to do a project. So we had already exchanged numbers, and he said to me, I'm going to give my wife your number, and I would like you guys to hook up and talk, whatever like that. So I was just thankful that he saw something in me, but really I was thankful because so many men out there, not the subject for today, are married, and they will never say, let me introduce you to my wife. They will have little secret side conversations. And that was the first thing, Baron, I have to tell you, that really touched my heart about you. And it impressed me because I said, look at this, not bragging, but I'm not an ugly lady, And he was just straight up. He's like, I'm going to give your number to my wife. And then the next conversation I had was with his wife. And here we are, and we have bloomed a wonderful friendship. But I just thank God because you don't know how friendships are going to bloom. And one of my prayers is for good friends, and these people are now become my good friends. So guys, let's get started here. I've got to know, how long you guys been married?
We are going on 20 years.
In May.
In May.
May of this year be 20 years.
So my friends, tell the people, how did you guys meet?
Okay. That's a long story, but I'm gonna give you the short version.
Okay.
I used to work for Verizon.
Right.
And now, here it is. At the time,
yes,
I was married.
Okay.
And I'm a young married man.
Okay.
And I was having issues. Keep it real.
Okay, it happens.
But I saw this. So we had a job. And it was having a taping of Robert De Niro's Sleepers
okay,
over in Greenpoint area.
Okay.
And me and my co-worker, we had this job. And I was like, yo, I see this young lady in the park. She's walking over there. He was like, yo, Mac, I think you can go get that. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go over there and I'm going to step to her. So I put on this cool walk. And I go in the park. And I see this young lady over there. I was like, yo, I'm going to go. No, hold up. The first day I saw her, there was a whole bunch of kids running around, and I wanted to play checkers. So when I noticed Tabitha, and I was like, oh my gosh, she got beautiful eyes, and the sun was hitting her eyes, and I was like, wow, this is dope. So the second day, this is when Goose, my coworker, said, yo, go over there. If you feel like you go, I said, yeah, I'm going to go check her out. So I went over there, had this, like I said, now I'm with my cool walk. And then I see her, no kids in the park this time. And I'm like, yo, can I get a checking game with you? Because I remember she was playing checkers with the kids. He said, okay. Now, here's the setup. Because I'm the sucker MC right now. I'm going to keep it real.
Okay, go ahead.
So I said, yo, if I win, I get your number.
Oh.
And she said, and I think we had the bet. And she said if she win, then I don't know, I was supposed to take her out or something. Well, anyway, I won. So I got the number. But here's the kicker. The number, I'm calling this lady all week. I ain't getting no answer. I'm like, yo, she ghosted me or something? Like, she ain't feeling me now. Now, again, I know I'm married with kids and all, but I was like, at that point, I'm young. Listen, I did it right, but I did it wrong. I'm going to tell that story.
You're not the only one, brother.
So I said, okay. So it happened. I said, this is my last phone call. Right. It was on a Monday morning.
Right.
Because I've been calling all weekend. I was working overtime on that weekend.
Right.
I said, I'm not gonna. I said, this is the last time. She don't pick up. I'm done. I was like, I called. She picked up. And I was like, yo, what's up? She was like, oh, how you doing and everything. she was real cool. And then next thing I know, it was like we started talking, and I was like, yo, but I thought I had, why you didn't never pick up? Like, you never home? She said, no, this is my job number at the park.
Disrespectful. And really quick question: at the time, was cell phones out yet?
Yes, they just came out, but there's still beepers, but they had the cell phone because they had the big block one.
Okay, I had one at that time.
Yeah, because that's another story.
Okay. I was gonna say, let me just add a little bit to this story.
Okay.
All right. First of all, I worked for Parks Department at the time.
Okay.
In American Playground in Greenpoint, where he said he met me, he saw me. The first time he saw me, I was playing with a whole bunch of little children.
Okay.
The second time, when he came with the kids, I couldn't pay him no attention. Because I was working, so he said he had to leave. He's gonna get a rain check. I said, yeah. And then he came back, and I said, I kept noticing this Verizon truck riding around and around the block. I was like, what's wrong with this dude?
You forgot that part.
These people, I was like, what's wrong with
We
this
couldn't
people?
find a park because they were filming over there.
Oh, okay.
Right, for sleepers. And at this time, we shut down the park completely. That's the really weird thing. When he came back the second time, there was nobody in the park but me. I was the only one in the park. And when he came back, he says to me, okay, we're going to play. If I win, I get your number. And if you win, you get whatever you want. So I said, okay, no problem. He left this little part out. He won that time, and I beat him every time. After that, I gotta tell the truth.
Okay.
Let him know.
Like I said, that's why I said I'm a sucker MC, and I got bamboozled because I got played. But at that point, I was calling her. We would talk like every morning, and the conversation was like just very genuine. And I had just had a baby, and I was like, you know what, this ain't working out. It was a lot of things going on in my life at that time, and so she asked me to come over her house because she knew I worked for the telephone company. She said, my dad got these, he got problems with his wires in his house. So I said, all right, I'll come over, fix the wires. So I go over there, fix the wires, and no lie, and I've done a lot of telephone jobs with women, a lot of single females. And I was like, but this time, she was like, she pulled the chair up behind me. She said, so what you doing? And I was like, oh, that's different. Again, I'm thinking I'm on top of the game, but I'm a sucker MC. I'm a gullible anyway. So at that point, it was like, what's going on here? Like, oh my God, I'm catching feelings.
Okay.
And at that point, I started to come around. And we started talking. Again, we was building a conversation over the phone. It was more like a real good friendship.
Communication.
Right. We was talking a lot. So,
okay.
And then I got busted. Well, I'm not gonna lie.
You don't have to lie, brother. Because guess what? There is nobody on the other side of that camera that can cast one stone at you. From the White House to my house, from the pulpit to the door. Nobody. So tell your story, because I still believe that there's healing and exposure.
Right.
That's the truth.
So, again, when I was exposed, I'm going to give you the short version of that. I had learned something. I liked Tabitha, and there was a good friendship. And I told her, she was mad, and she was really hot. And I was like, yo, listen, real talk, I really like you. Your friendship, I value it, and I really would like to continue our friendship. So I knew she had caught feelings, and I caught feelings too, because I was like, man, this is really something different. But at the end of the day, I think that that was one of the things that I liked about her. So, and she took a little minute, but we started talking again.
So she took a minute, because when you found out, you were disgusted, as any woman would be.
Yeah.
You would be upset, you would be hurt, you would be mad, ready to shake something. I get it. Go ahead, sis.
You know what? I'm going to say the part that we missed out on was when we first met, when he first came, we started playing the game. The first question I asked him was, I asked several questions. Number one, are you married? Number two, do you have any newborns? And number three, are you on a down low? Do you like men too? I needed to know those things was very important to me. And one, he was on no down low. Two, he never denied his kids. He always said he had children. But the third thing is he did lie about being married. He said he wasn't married. And I was like, okay. And when he talked about he was exposed, his wife ended up calling my house one night while he was there. And that's where the exposure came in.
Right. So,
And how did you guys handle that? I mean, you know, we hear about people cheating every day. Some people are down with it. Some people are uncomfortable with it. And for some, it goes on for years and years. And some, it stops quick. So when it happened, did you immediately stop speaking to him? Did you still speak to him? Did you go along with it? Because one thing I have to say, and we're not going to dwell here, we're going to move on, but when you start falling in love with somebody, when you start liking somebody, when you start catching feelings for somebody, you might get a news of, I'm married, or you might get the real story because they could have been lying to you, right?
Mhm.
Or misleading you, or manipulating. You know how these
Right.
things go, right?
Right.
Whatever the case, my point is, when you find out, it doesn't turn your feelings off. And you said this was built on communication. And one thing I have learned within the last year is people think as soon as somebody starts messing around with somebody or dating somebody and they have somebody else, everything's not about sex. You might, I heard you say friendship. Friendship is very important because a lot of people are married, but they don't have a friendship.
Right.
They don't have the chemistry. I'm sitting here, I'm watching you guys, and I wasn't there 20 years ago. But every time I see you guys, I laugh inside because when I say my prayers, God, I want a piece of that. I want that. I don't want the people with just the fake stories. I want a real love story. And that's what I see here. And real love stories is built off of real stories. The rocks, the bruises, the heart. We see
Yes.
the smile of the happiness now. We
Right.
see your beautiful home, the businesses you guys are building together, but people don't know the backstory.
Yes.
Right.
So that backstory is very important too, you know, and there was a lot of tears, I'm sure, involved.
It was difficult. I will say this, because one, when his wife called my house, at the time I had just moved back from Virginia, so I was living at home with my parents, and my mother was the one who called, answered the phone. She said, "Baron, there's a woman on the phone." She said she's your wife. So you know, like,
Jesus.
you think to yourself, that's the type of stuff you don't want everybody around you to know, no matter what. You know, like,
We can laugh now, right?
Yeah, I said, you know, my thing to you is always, confession is good for the soul,
Yes.
bad for the reputation. You know, you don't want nobody around you to know. At the time, either I did not know though that he was married at all, and his ex-wife at the time, she kept calling me, and I called him, and I was like, listen, I'm not into the business of breaking up marriages, number one. Tell her to stop calling me.
And in her defense, she was hurt.
Yeah.
She was hurt.
Absolutely.
And she has the right to be hurt. And I'm not coming
Absolutely.
against you, but sometimes, you know, if I'm your friend, I'll be like, oh, Tabitha, that girl. But in reality, sometimes people are bought into a picture that they never even knew they were
That
a
had
part
no
of.
idea.
right.
And I would say this to his defense. When I called, there was like a lot of calls going on the next morning, of course, back and forth. And I said to his wife at that time, I said, listen, this is between you and your husband. I'm not here to break you guys up. That's not what I do, not my business. You need to deal with him. Because I'm a believer that your business is your business between you two. Y'all need to handle that. I don't have anything to do with this. Me and him, and we got a problem.
Okay,
You know?
so I have a quick question.
Mhm.
So here we are 20 years later, and you guys are together. So
Right.
I need to know, because what people automatically assume, we're all Christians. We love God, we love the Bible, and we know the Word of God.
Right.
But we know people who's been married 2, 3, 4 times, and they're in successful relationships. So even though it started crazy, look where you are now.
Yeah.
Right.
So I need to know, because somebody out there needs to hear it, that because you can't do nothing where your heart beats at.
Yeah.
Wherever your heart is, I don't
I
care.
always say that.
There's many people laying in a house, sitting in a room with somebody, thinking about somebody else.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So I have to commend you. You know, my condolences to the lady for losing you, because that hurts when you lose somebody you love. But everybody's not in love with the other person that's in love with them.
That's what I said. That's what I said when I said I did the right thing, but I did the wrong thing. I always tell people that. Like, at the end of the day, with my ex-wife, I got married because I was having a child, and we didn't even pray. I just said, all right, let's do it. And at this time, I'm like, I believe I'm 18. She's 17, because she had to get parental guidance to even sign the papers.
Oh, so y'all
So
really
for
young.
permission, actually, parental permission,
Mhm.
and then at that point we did it, justice of peace. All my mother didn't even. My mother didn't come to the. She didn't even know,
Oh wow. Okay.
you know,
I get it.
and it broke her heart.
Yes.
So like I said, I did the right thing, but I did it wrong. So again, now when you fast forward it, you know, all these things are happening with me and Tabitha, and I ended up having another child, and that broke her heart again. You know, and I'm emotionally detached from this wedding, physically attached and spiritually. I'm
Mhm.
gone.
Mhm.
But when I told her I'm having another child,
Woo,
and it's
child.
like again here now I'm faced again.
Slap him, girl. No.
On
You
So-
what?
So I'm on my third child,
Mhm.
and I'm faced with the same situation I did the first time. I said, you know what? And at the time I was cool, you know, I was talking to my family, and they're like, you know, you should stay. But I'm like, I'm not happy. You know, and at the end of the day, and I'm going to say this, and I say this for all men, I talk to a lot of brothers.
Tell him, brother.
Listen, it's about you first, and then everybody else. Because if you ain't happy, you can't make nobody else happy. I don't care about kids, none of that. I'm first. If I can put a smile on my face, then I can put a smile on other people's faces. I can't go around here being miserable for anybody.
That's right.
So I said, you know what? I'm not doing this no more. And well, anyway, I end up not getting along. We had a big spat, me and my ex-wife, and I left. But first and foremost, I respectfully told her that I was out.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I had to sit down.
Mhm.
We adults, right? So
Yes.
when my young adult said, listen, this is what I'm doing. I'm out. I don't want to be bothered. Now I got a baby. I got all 3 babies. You know, and even before that, when I even got caught, I'm gonna go just rewind that. When I got caught, because I was taught to have some manners
Mhm.
and some respect, I went back to the house and I apologized to Dave, who are my in-laws.
Mm.
You know, I told them that I don't do stuff like this.
Right.
You know, and I apologized to them and told them that, you know, I really like your daughter, but I never intended to hurt nobody. I don't want no drama at your house or anything like that. And, you know, I guess Tabitha could tell what the father said, but...
wait. I gotta tell you something. So as you were speaking, I was just hearing, you know, good people sometimes make bad choices.
Yes.
Good people make bad, you know, choices, bad decisions. Unfortunately, in the world we live in, we label people because of the
Yes.
choices they're made. And I'm still hearing in my spirit from God that all things work together.
Yes.
All things work together once we give it to Him. You
Yes.
understand what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that it's easy, and you know, I respect you guys. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And you know, again, I hate the bottom sometimes, but it's the foundation that makes us stronger.
Yes.
But now I want to get to the juicy part, y'all. Where we are here now, and you know, because I love your relationship. I'm a relationship watcher. I watch
Okay.
people's pictures. I watch people how they walk, how they talk to each other. Unfortunately, you know, and I say it's so sad. He doesn't even like her. She don't even like him. You know what I mean? Like, he's there for this, she's there for that. And sometimes I'm really right. And other
Right.
people see it too, and it's so sad. But
Right.
when I could come around a couple who's genuinely in love and has feelings and the kids, and you know, it's just a healthy place. And it's something about it. I want to throw the word out to you, Tabitha, loyalty. How important is loyalty? Well, we just went through that story, but how
Yeah.
important is loyalty to a relationship?
I believe that it's one of the top 5 things for me. You know, you have to be loyal to each other.
Okay.
And I was going to make this statement too, that first and foremost, everybody needs to be loyal to God.
Mm.
Our commitment needs to be to God for this relationship. You know, I always tell people always say to me, oh, if he cheated once, he'll cheat again. Like, that's something that I went through real early in the relationship with different women, of course. Was like, oh, he was married and he cheated on his wife. And I always tell people, you know what I learned about him, and I believe this with everyone, is his commitment to God first.
Mhm.
He understood that the promise that he made to God to take care of me, to shelter me, was the most important thing for me.
Wow.
So the loyalty to the relationship
Yes.
is a reflection of the commitment to God.
Wow.
So loyalty is one of the top 5 that we always talk about, you know, commitment, loyalty. And one thing we said when we got married was, one, we went to marriage counseling.
Excellent.
Yes.
You know, that was number 1.
Excellent.
We both were committed to God, so we understood then what marriage was. And I also tell people too, I understood that when people are young and they get married or they get in relationships, they're really not knowing what they're doing.
No.
You know, so we have to be able to say, you know, you got to forgive people for stuff like that. You know, you have to have a better understanding, heart and spirit on what, you know, people are going through. And even though it wasn't easy, you know, and I tell you because, like you said, I'm human, my heart is hurting too. But when we met, I told him that I was dating. And that's something I want to say to all young women out here who are watching this, that do not, you're not in a relationship right now. If you're in your early 20s, late teens, you continue to date.
Yes.
You dating other people helps you get to know who you are.
Yes.
You know, and then you can determine who's best for you.
Where were you when I was young? I needed somebody to.
That's what a lot of people say.
Lord have mercy.
And when he'll tell you, when we finally got together,
Right.
he had to tell me, he said, listen, I don't want you dating nobody else. I wanted to just be me. Because he understood then that I was dating.
Yes.
And I made it clear, you're not the only man in my life. Although he was good, he was really good. Even in being married, and he was still like
I could
better
tell
than
from
a lot.
I could tell from the smile on your face.
Yeah, he was better than a lot.
I like that you said that, because in my day, you know, I come from a family, you know, my grandmother's West Indian, my mother, they say, oh, don't have sex, don't get married for sex. Nobody talks about this type of stuff. And this is why, to me, it's so important to talk to our young girls so that they could know it's okay to date. Because I got in a relationship, I'm being a girlfriend, I'm giving husband treatment to boyfriends, you know? And nobody said, they just say, don't have sex, you go to hell. They don't tell you the in between. And then you get all this preparation that I don't want to know all that preparation, you know, but you live and you learn. And now I'm telling my daughter, it's okay to date. Yes. And you don't have to, but Betty Wright said, you don't have to sleep with everybody that you meet. You know, it's okay to date. A lot of Christian circles say date in a bunch, in a group. That way you go out together. Yeah. He'll be able to look at this guy and say, nah, Leslie, that ain't for him. Bring him over. Come to dinner. You know, I mean, I'm a grown woman. I'm almost 50. A guy was trying to talk to me yesterday, and he's already talking about just silly stuff. And I knew from the first time, I said, all right, have a good day, Block. It's over. Because now we're older. Yeah. And as Baron was speaking, another thing, I was reminded that sometimes other people prepare us for other people.
Yes.
It sucks. It hurts. It's hard. You know, and you've invested your time and your energy. And that's why the first thing you said is that loyalty to God. Because I'm pissed to heck that this man doesn't know anything about picnics and this and that. And then I take you on a picnic, or I take you out to eat, or I do certain things that you didn't never think of. Because these men are so lame. Stop asking a woman, do you want to go out to eat? Do we look like we need to eat? It's New York City. Think of some other things outside the box. That's for free. It just drives me crazy. Do you want to go out to eat? Do I look like I'm 17 years old? It irritates me. Think outside the box. And he thought outside the box, right? To get you. Well, he was really thinking.
I want to say this, like, you know, like, again, it was more like a friendship. And if we go out to eat and go have a drink or something, why we just can't just chill and talk about things? Right. And another thing, too, and it's not just a relationship, we talk about world events, sports.
There you go. There you
go. Know, common interests, you know what I'm saying, dreams, aspirations, all this, you know. And I think you build with the person. Right. A lot of times what happens is, and me and my wife talk about it, I was like, people play roles. Yes. They don't play friendship. Like, you be a friend. You know, be cool. My wife know how to be a friend. Nice. And I love it. The one thing that she gives me no issue when I'm out with other people, that's why I can go around other women. I love it. It ain't got to be, oh, it's a sexual thing or a relationship. It's a friendship. And I always say, and I don't hide it. You know, I'm like, don't catch no feelings. That's on you. That ain't on me, because I already tell you, I got a wife. I got a nice ring on my finger.
Oh, it is kind of nice. Very, very nice.
Very nice.
I have a question.
I paid a lot of money for this ring.
Show the ring.
I paid a lot of money for this ring.
Hers is pretty. Hers is sparkling.
Yeah, hers is nice too, but I paid a lot of money for this ring. And this is my money right here.
I have to know something really quick. What is the glue that holds you together on the days that it's not so happy? And, you know, everybody knows any relationship, mother, daughter, father, son, every relationship has its ups and downs. What is the glue that holds, I think I know the answer, but I want you guys to say, what is the glue that holds you together where people are walking away, people are divorced, and people are tired, I'm fed up, you know, they think the grass is greener. What is the glue that holds you guys together?
For me, I would say our friendship. We laugh now. When we went through this pandemic, we saw a lot of people go through challenges. But Leslie, I promise you, we laughed all the time at each other, at things around us, and me and Baron are honest with each other. Like, you know, sometimes people don't, like for instance, he'll tell me, that's your mother right there coming out of you. I see her, you know, and I say to him, like, look, just like your dad, just like your father, you know, like, we learn to not take everything so serious, you know, and we also had to know too that he's my friend, so he has my best interest at heart. A lot of times people are having trouble in relationships because that part is not there. I don't trust you, and it's not that I don't trust you because you might get with somebody else. I don't trust my heart with you. And that's where, you know, I trust him with my heart. I trust him with my reputation. You know, we have told each other, and we told our children this, when you go outside, you represent us all.
Yes.
That's right.
So everything you do outside is a representation
Every choice.
of us. Every choice you make is a reputation, is a, you know, representation of the whole family. So, you know, I trust him.
You guys seem very, very grounded. And I know you guys are very, I consider you guys to be inspirational. And, you know, in my prayers, I always pray for God for good friends. And I'm specific. When I speak to you, we never get off the phone with some type of purpose. You always, you know, push me in a direction. And, you know, I had other friends that I was leaning on for purpose, but they were pulling me in other directions. But my point is, it's always healthy when I get off the phone with you. I'm like, Dad, Tap is getting on my nerve. I got to do this. But you push me. And, you know, I'm just grateful. I have a lot of great friends, and male and female, but you always push me, you know, this is what we're going to do next. This is what we're working on. And it's, you know, it's very encouraging. So I thank God for that. One of my favorite books is The 5 Love Languages, right? A lot of people, I don't consider it a Bible, but people just don't know how important that is. I didn't hear of The 5 Love Languages until I was in my 30s, I believe. And I really believe it's important that people know that, because we always hear, treat others like you want to be treated, right? But when it comes to the 5 love languages, I don't want you to love me like you want to be loved. I want to be loved the way that I need to be loved. We all have different love languages. So my question to you, did you know each other's love language from the beginning, or did it take time? And do you think you've already mastered that, your love language, each other's love language?
No, we didn't know that from the beginning. And also, it takes time. And I say this too, a lot of times people don't get it. Like, you saw the movie of 50 First Dates? If anybody saw that with Adam Sandler?
Yes.
This is, I always refer, this is a 50 First Dates.
Okay.
You know, like, I don't know what Tabitha I'm waking up to tomorrow morning.
Right.
Tabitha don't know what Baron she's waking up to
Right.
the next morning.
Right.
And I might be a funky Baron, and I'm like, I don't want to be bothered. She give me my space. And it's vice versa. You know, like, we don't have to go through all that. So it takes time, and then you got to respect the process. Also, I give her space.
Right.
You know, and we talk about what's on your mind today, how you feeling. That's one of the first things we say is good morning.
Right.
We say thank you. You know, we compliment each other. You know, those little things help. And I always brag about myself. Like, you see me, I washed all these clothes. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm
Just
saying? Like,
pulling for
you know,
compliments.
You know, like, I'll be pulling. I'm like, worship me. You know, like, you want me
Whoa,
to
worship, compliment.
You know, so I'll be like, you, listen,
No
you get a
worship.
lot of stuff when you worship with me. I'm
wait.
saying, hear me when I say this.
Go ahead.
We worship God, God blesses us, right? I heard this before. I worship Tabitha. I'm not ashamed to say it.
No.
I get a lot of
You're
stuff.
supposed to love her like Christ loved the church.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, you ain't gotta carry no bags. I'll do that for you.
You should.
You know. Well, that's
If
it's
she
different.
can, I'm sorry. That's one of my love languages. I do not want to carry anything. Here, carry it.
Yeah, but
I'll carry some other
there's a
things, baby, you
certain
need
way
me
to
to carry.
do
But
that.
I'm not going to be. But he should already know. I'm sorry. At this age, I'm almost 50.
Yeah.
Well, I want to make this.
Go ahead.
I want to say this though.
No,
You know, you and I always have this debate over what
Go
you
ahead.
think a man's supposed to know. But I always tell people this: the one good thing about Baron, and we talked about communication in the very beginning, was that he says to me, don't make me have to guess or think about what you want because I can't read your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You have to tell me. And when you brought up the love languages, I think that's a great conversation piece for people to have. You know, I encourage all of my clients. I'm a life coach. Well, I call myself a strategist, not necessarily a life coach, but I'm a strategist and a relationship strategist. And I always tell the women around me, know what your love language is, and be able to articulate that to the man you're dealing with.
Right.
He shouldn't have to read your mind. You know, we got to keep in mind too that men, once they hit the door, they already got to face the world. You know, and it's a lot that's on them already. And God has placed a lot on them. When they know God, they understand what their responsibility is to their family as it is. Why should we make them have to guess what we need or what we want? Tell them what you need. Tell them what you want. You know, so I'm a believer in when you start to date someone and you get in tune with that person, be able to articulate what you need, what you want, and then you'll know if he's listening. That's what it is. You know if he's paying attention to you, because then he'll do and have what you need and what you want. But you can't expect that because you're at a certain age. Because one thing that you always say, people are not always exposed.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to pay attention to where the man is coming from.
And it's and I guess too, it's not right, but it's just expecting, and that's the conversation me and one of my best friends always have. You can't expect because everybody's common sense is not common, right?
That's right.
I'm gonna give you one more thing.
Go ahead.
My father told me a long time ago. He said, "Don't expect anything from anyone because they'll disappoint you every time."
Daddy is right.
But you gotta let people know.
Yes.
It's the other thing I would say. You gotta teach people how to treat you.
Yes, how to love you.
Yes.
Yes.
Because people always gonna love you the way they know how to.
So let me ask you this. Anybody could answer this. We all know the word, and the word says that we should be equally yoked, right? But everybody always takes that in a spiritual form. They don't take it in the form of, do you beat kids? Like, you know what I mean? Because you get married, like, oh, I didn't know you discipline kids. Like, I didn't know you cook Franks on Sunday. Like, I don't do that. So how important is that? And also, I would like somebody, so both of you could take different questions. I know you guys are a unit. And you guys are a unit, but you also are individuals, right? And you have your own things going on, but you guys have a lot of things going on together. So I want to basically know how you feel about the equally yoked, whoever wants to grab that one. And then I also would like to hear from someone talking about the things that you do. Black filmmaker. You guys have like 100 things. We don't have enough time today to tell you all the things that they do. I will let them brag on themselves, but please let the people know.
I'll talk about the equally yoked part, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
All right. I love this. Okay, first of all, I believe being equally yoked is very important. But it depends. It comes from different situations. You know, I always, like I said, coach people into a space of understanding that it's important to be equally yoked spiritually. It's important to be equally yoked. I think educationally as well. You know, you might get somebody who don't have the same level of education that you have, but yet they have the same level of intellect. You know, and we need to know that that happens because life experiences will create a level of intellect for you.
Right.
You know, that you may not have gotten just because of education.
Right.
So, you know, how you communicate with a person, that's important. Like, and I always talk to my daughters, you know, I want them to find and to be with men who come from the same sort of background that they have. They have the same,
very important.
you know, like, that have the same beliefs, you know, and structures that they see and that they know of, because I think that's a part of being equally yoked. So for me, I think being equally yoked is several different things, but it's important, you know.
As far as what we have going on, we're filmmakers, like you stated. We make movies. We do everything. We do weddings. We film weddings. We have filmed commercials. We film documentaries. We film music videos. What else we film? PSAs. We done it all. So now
pilots,
series.
Yes,
we work with people. You know, in spite of their budget, we work with people. You know, again, we were well versed in the game, from editing to camera work, lighting, gaffing, whatever you need, sound, whatever you need, we have. So we love what we do. I mean, it's more my passion than hers. She's more on the business side of it.
Yeah.
That's what makes it
Boss
great
lady.
for me.
Yeah.
That's the boss lady, right? So at the end of the day, I love to do all the hard labor. I'm below the line, when we call it, in the film industry. So if you hear somebody say above the line, you know that's all the executive producers, and that's where all the money is at. Below the line is all the workers.
That's all right. You get.
So that's why we have our company, Mizab Function Entertainment, where I work above the line and he works below the line, and we make it meet in the middle.
balance, honey.
Yes, honey.
I'm
Balance.
hearing balance in a
Yes.
really big way.
Yes.
So
But I do have other jobs, like she said.
Yeah.
Because he does outside cinematography work, outside editing work, outside of our own biz company. And I do life strategist, like I said, life strategist and licensed life insurance agent. You gotta have residual income coming in, you know, money coming from every different way. I like to get the bag. I'm about the bag.
I'm not mad at you. That helps in a situation.
Yeah.
Nobody, hey, you can't. The kid. I always tell him the kiss is nice, but if my bills is paid, the kiss is even sweeter, right? What I'm talking about.
I like that.
I'm
Yeah,
serious
right?
about it, honey. That kiss feels good, but I got 10 bills and you finish kissing me, right? But you guys are just so awesome. And again, I just thank you so much for sharing your story. So if you could, both of you individually, I would like you to tell a new couple, someone newly dating, something that you wish someone would have said to you when you first started dating. Not even each other, but some words of advice or some words of wisdom. And again, I'm asking you that because I believe you're a power couple.
Thank
Because
Thank
I
you.
don't think that the perfect looking couple is the power couple, because if they pull the curtain back and expose some of these couples, they would be shocked. And I'm not trying to diss anybody, but I'm just moving forward. I don't have time for the fakeness, and I just love your relationship. I think it's beautiful.
Thank you, Leslie.
And so
happy,
anything
happy,
that
yeah.
could mirror, you know, to somebody else and say, you know what, I just think honesty, and it's so easy for us to tell people what to do, and then we don't do it ourselves.
That's right.
And, you know, forget the hypocrisy in that, but just, you know, how do you sleep at night? You know, you want to be able to, because God sees all, and He knows all, and we have to answer to Him, not people. The
Amen.
people we put facades on for. So please, give some words of advice, and we'll be closing out soon.
Okay, you know that song, Take Your Time, Young Man?
Take
Mama
your
used to say-
time, young man.
That's what Mama used to say?
Mama used to say.
Listen to that song. That's number one. Number two, I think that seek to be understood. No, seek to understand before being understood. So that means that's one of the 7 habits of highly effective people. That's the third one, actually. Do that. And again, you know, it's not about yourself. Be able to listen, learn the person, communication. I'm big on loyalty, trust, and honesty, character, integrity, and morals. Now, that's a lot of said, but I'm big on those. And then get with your partner, pray with them, you know, get your spiritual life in order and financial life in order. And we're still working on the physical. We're getting older though, so I'm kind of like,
You comfortable, brother?
a little bit, but I do gotta work out some
Yeah,
more.
because we
but-
want to live
wanna
70,
live-
80 more years.
yeah.
Come on, we
Yes,
got some
God.
films
Yeah, we
to
got
make.
to.
Yes,
So,
Lord. Yes,
but
Lord.
for the most part, these are the things that I think that will help a healthy relationship, because communication is key, and that's always, and be honest. Even if you make a mistake, don't browbeat nobody. You made a mistake. It's okay. You know, like, let's fix it. We talk about it, we fix it, and I think that's one of the biggest things, that the reason why I'm still married today, because we talk about it, we fix it.
You don't hide it.
We don't hide it, no, but we don't point fingers either. We don't
Nice.
believe it. You messed up. You know, and,
How
oh,
do we
you messed
fix this? That's what you work
Yeah.
on.
Right, we just fix it. We just gotta fix it. That's it. We don't gotta go all through a whole wash. You can get mad, keep your anger, have your moment, but we still gotta just fix it.
And you don't go to bed angry.
Yeah, we don't go to bed angry. No, because I'm the one in the middle of the night be like, yo, we need to talk.
Wake up.
Wake up. You
That is
can't
it.
sleep on that. You gotta
Wake
talk.
up, wake
That's
up.
it. That
Everybody
is
wake
it.
up.
That's right. So we gotta talk. You know, that's what it is. Just trying to understand. And like I said again, I'm still learning, Tabitha. It's not over until I hit the grave. I'm going to learn Talented until the day I die. Because
She-
it's something different every day.
She inhaled on that one, honey.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
exhaled. You better come on, somebody. Say something for us.
I'm gonna say this. For me, the number one thing is prayer. You know, you gotta be a person to have a prayer life for yourself. Yes, honey. You gotta have a prayer life for yourself. And another thing is that what Baron touched on before, don't go into relationships playing roles. You know, like, don't do what you think everybody else did, or what you think it is to be a wife, you know, or how he's supposed to be a husband to you. You know, stop, for women in particular, and I'm talking to the women, seriously, don't go and try to change a man. You know, you don't make him what you think you
Doesn't
want him
work
to be,
anyway.
or what you think he can be. You have to know who he is and accept him for all of that. You know, that's the one thing I learned in our marriage throughout time, was I knew who Baron was when we finally decided to make this thing happen. I was clear of it. But I also saw potential in him, and I knew how to push him to his potential without trying to say, you know, you gotta go this and you gotta go do that. You know, I learned, I saw it. I was like, okay, listen, try this, try that. You have to, women gotta start knowing how to talk to men. You know, we want to talk to them like they're our children, and they're not.
Come on.
They're grown men.
Yes.
And that's why we have so many problems today. So I want to encourage you. First, pray. Be a prayerful woman
Come on.
in your home.
Yes.
You know, I'm speaking from that perspective because that's what I know and that's what I did. I come from that. I just want to plug this in. My parents were married 56 years.
Come on, somebody.
This year. Yeah, they'll be married 56 years this year. So I learned, I saw what a good marriage looks like, you know, and we encourage you all, be prayerful with each other. Pray together, communicate, be honest, and trust each other to be who you are. Don't try to form somebody into what you want them to be. God created us, not we didn't create each other. You know, so
That's excellent. And I think I heard T.D. Jake's wife, Sarita, who I respect. She's my godmother, haven't met yet. But I heard him say she never yelled at him. She never yelled at him. And I think sometimes my mom and I was speaking yesterday, sometimes women and men, they grew up in a house of love looks like arguing and fussing and fighting, and that's all they know. So they argue, they fight, and then they do the kissing up and the making up. Then the kids are watching and the kids are growing up and they think this is a healthy and stable environment, and it's not. So I'm just really glad and blessed that you guys would open up your home to the Leslie T. Marshall experience. They never know where they'll find us, but I'm blessed because he told me I wasn't part of the team, but it looked like I'm part of the team, honey. I'm part of the team. And I just want to say this is Valentine's Day month, and the Leslie T. Marshall experience wants to just give you guys a little starter kit for Valentine's Day, because listen, the Bible says the marriage bed is undefiled, so you guys could enjoy Valentine's Day. It's not for us single folks, honey.
All right.
I want to wish you guys a
Thank
happy
you.
Valentine's Day. I
Thank you
love
so
you
much.
so much, and I pray that someone heard something today that they needed to hear. Because God is good
all the time.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Oh my goodness.
This is so wonderful.